Alright, so basically there's three different kinds of single tapping, alright? There's the finger, like something like that. There's arm, kind of like jackhammer at the keyboard. And then there's wrist. And they all are pretty unique, and in my opinion there's certain situations you should be using them in, and some are better than the others, of course. This is all opinionated, but I'm going to be trying to explain why some are better than the others. So I'm going to start off with finger single tapping. And with the finger single tapping, you're really only using the muscles in your finger. Doesn't matter which finger you're using, but your fingers they're not strong enough alone to be efficient when you're single tapping. So basically it's not always bad. You can use it for streaming and alternating, just using your fingers. You don't have to put your wrist into it or anything. But it's just really inefficient if you're just single tapping with it. And so a lot of newer players will kind of just use finger because everything's slow. And I don't know, it's just not efficient. And a lot of people will end up switching over if they find that single tapping is more comfortable to them. They won't really use this style, but people who fully alternate will probably use this because it's easy to stream with and such. Alright, I'm going to talk about arm. So with the arm, you have your arm raised like this, and it's kind of like the jackhammer style. And arm is okay. It's kind of a mix between wrist and fingers. So you're using the muscles in your arm through your forearm, your wrist, finger. You're using everything there. However, it's pretty tiresome. It can be tiresome after a while, because you have your arm in the air while you're single tapping, and keeping your arm up in the air while you're doing this, it puts a lot of strain, and so it can be very tiring after a while. But there's no reason not to use this if you're comfortable with it, unless you feel like it's really impeding your speed or stamina when it comes to single tapping. So a lot of people will kind of transition to this once they feel that single tapping with just their finger isn't enough. And yeah, so it's not, I wouldn't say it's bad for single tapping. It's still not very efficient compared to wrist. With wrist, you're using the muscles in your forearm, your wrist obviously, then all the way to whatever finger you're single tapping with. And I feel like this is the best for single tapping because you have your arm planted, so you have the support using a hand rest or not, depending on how high your keyboard is. If it's more comfortable for you to use a hand rest, I would. But it basically, it's more efficient. You can single tap for longer. You can probably do it faster, just because you don't have your hand in the air and you're using a lot more muscles than what's just in your finger. So a lot of people find that using your wrist is pretty much the fastest, and you retain the most stamina when you're actually single tapping. And a lot of people also, just a side note, they'll find that using their wrist, I can't really do that, using their wrist to stream. And it's also I mean, you can use it for that too. But when it comes to single tapping, this is definitely the most efficient way to do it, in my opinion. With the arm, if you build up a lot of stamina, that can also be good. You can kind of like learn to vibrate with it. Just vibrate your arm, and you can end up single tapping Mendez or whatever. But you can also do it with wrist, and you can't really do it with finger. If you can, you're probably a god. But yeah, that was just like a little rundown over ways to single tap. And if you're new to the game or whatever, I wouldn't worry about it. Just do whatever feels the most comfortable to you. If you feel like full alternating, if that's more comfortable to you, there's no reason to learn single tapping, in my opinion. Unless you feel like fully alternating is just impeding your progress in some sort of way. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please give me upvotes. Thanks.